Today we are going to learn the use of three powerful English words that can completely improve your speaking and writing skills. These words are extremely, highly, and greatly. Many English learners use these words incorrectly because they look similar in meaning. All three words are used to increase the strength of an idea, but they are not used in the same way. Understanding the correct use of these words will make your English sound more natural, professional, and fluent. This lecture will help you understand the meaning, grammar, sentence structure, common mistakes, and practical uses of these words in daily English. By the end of this lesson, you will know exactly where to use extremely, where to use highly, and where to use greatly. Let us begin with the word extremely. The word extremely is an adverb. It means very or to a very high degree. It is used to make adjectives and adverbs stronger. When you want to show a high level of something, you can use extremely. Extremely is mostly used before adjectives and adverbs. For example, the weather is extremely hot. In this sentence, hot is an adjective. Extremely increases the intensity of hot. Another example, she speaks extremely fast. Here fast is an adverb, and extremely makes it stronger. One important rule is that extremely is usually not used before verbs directly. Incorrect sentence. I extremely like this movie. Correct sentence. I really like this movie. Now let us understand where extremely is commonly used. Extremely is often used with adjectives related to feelings, weather, conditions, quality, situations, and descriptions. Examples include extremely beautiful, extremely difficult, extremely dangerous, extremely cold, extremely important, extremely helpful, extremely tired, extremely expensive. Now let us look at 5 detailed examples of extremely. Example 1. The students were extremely excited before the final match. This sentence shows a very high level of excitement. Example 2. The road became extremely dangerous during the storm. Here extremely increases the seriousness of danger. Example 3. She is extremely talented in music and painting. This sentence praises someone strongly. Example 4. The teacher explained the lesson extremely clearly. Here it modifies the adverb clearly. Example 5. I was extremely happy after hearing the good news. This sentence expresses strong happiness. Now let us discuss some common mistakes with extremely. Many learners use extremely with words that already express a strong meaning. For example, extremely perfect, extremely impossible, extremely dead. These combinations sound unnatural because perfect, impossible, and dead are already extreme words. Native English speakers usually avoid such combinations. Instead of saying, the answer is extremely perfect, you can say, the answer is absolutely perfect. Now let us move to the second word, which is highly. Highly is also an adverb, but its use is different from extremely. Highly is often used to express a high degree of quality, opinion, probability, or praise. Highly is commonly used before past participles and adjectives that express evaluation or reputation. For example, highly respected, highly educated, highly qualified, highly recommended, highly successful, highly effective, highly likely, highly intelligent. You will notice something important here. Highly is often connected with opinions, reputation, ability, or possibility rather than physical conditions. Let us understand this carefully. If you say, the room is extremely hot, you are describing temperature. But if you say, she is highly respected, you are describing reputation or social opinion. Highly is very common in formal English, academic English, and professional communication. Now let us study 5 examples of highly. Example 1. This book is highly recommended for English learners. This means many people strongly recommend the book. Example 2. He is a highly skilled engineer. Here highly shows strong ability and expertise. Example 3. The manager is highly respected by the staff. This sentence talks about reputation and respect. Example 4. It is highly unlikely that the train will arrive on time. Here highly increases the probability expression unlikely. Example 5. She is highly motivated to achieve her goals. This sentence shows a strong level of motivation. Now let us understand the grammar pattern of highly. Highly is frequently used with past participles. For example, highly appreciated, highly developed, highly admired, highly valued, highly trained, highly experienced. This pattern is very common in spoken and written English. For example, the scientist is highly respected across the world. The company employs highly trained workers. This is one reason why highly sounds more formal and professional than extremely. Now let us discuss common mistakes with highly. Many learners use highly where extremely should be used. Incorrect sentence. The food was highly spicy. Correct sentence. The food was extremely spicy. Why? Because spicy is a physical description, not an evaluation or reputation. Another incorrect example. The weather is highly cold. Correct sentence. The weather is extremely cold. Now let us move to the third word, which is greatly. Greatly is another adverb, but its use is different from both extremely and highly. Greatly means very much or to a great extent. It is often used with verbs and sometimes with past participles. Greatly usually describes change, influence, effect, appreciation, improvement, or emotional impact. For example, greatly improved, greatly affected, greatly appreciated, greatly influenced, greatly increased, greatly reduced, greatly admired. One important thing to remember is that greatly is often connected with actions and results. Let us compare. Extremely hot describes condition. Highly respected describes reputation. Greatly improved describes change or result. Now let us study 5 examples of greatly. Example 1. Your support greatly helped me during difficult times. This sentence shows strong help or support. Example 2. The new technology has greatly improved communication. Here greatly describes the level of improvement. Example 3. I greatly appreciate your kindness. This is a very common formal expression. Example 4. The flood greatly damaged the village. This sentence shows strong negative impact. Example 5. Her speech greatly influenced the audience. This means the speech had a strong effect. Now let us understand an important difference between highly and greatly. Both can be used with past participles, but the meaning changes. Highly respected means having strong respect or reputation. Greatly respected is less common and focuses more on the extent of respect. Highly educated means possessing excellent education. Greatly educated sounds unnatural, so some combinations naturally belong with highly while others belong with greatly. Now let us compare all 3 words together. Extremely is mostly used with adjectives and adverbs describing conditions or qualities. Highly is mostly used with evaluations, reputation, probability, and professional qualities. Greatly is mostly used with verbs and results showing effect or change. Let us look at a comparison chart through sentences. The room is extremely noisy. This describes a strong condition. She is highly intelligent. This describes a high intellectual quality or evaluation. The new system greatly improved efficiency. This describes strong improvement. Another comparison. I am extremely tired. He is highly respected. Your advice greatly helped me. Now let us study deeper usage patterns. First pattern. Extremely plus adjective. Extremely beautiful. Extremely painful. Extremely difficult. Extremely nervous. Examples. The exam was extremely difficult. She looked extremely nervous before the interview. Second pattern. Highly plus past participle. Highly qualified. Highly motivated. Highly respected. Highly recommended. Examples. The doctor is highly qualified. This restaurant is highly recommended. Third pattern. Greatly plus verb or past participle. Greatly appreciate. Greatly influence. Greatly improve. Greatly reduce. Examples. I greatly appreciate your support. The new law greatly reduced crime. Now let us discuss spoken English use. In daily conversation, people often use extremely to express strong emotions and conditions. For example, I am extremely busy today. That movie was extremely funny. The traffic is extremely bad. Highly is more common in formal conversation, education, reviews, and professional settings. For example, she is highly professional. This course is highly beneficial. The company is highly successful. Greatly is common in formal speech, writing, business English, and polite expressions. For example, we greatly appreciate your cooperation. The policy greatly affected small businesses. Now let us explore emotional impact. Extremely gives emotional intensity. Highly gives social or intellectual evaluation. Greatly gives effect or impact. For example, I am extremely sad. He is highly admired. Your words greatly touched my heart. Now let us discuss formal and informal tone. Extremely works in both casual and formal English. Highly sounds more formal and professional. Greatly sounds polite and formal. For example, casual English. I am extremely hungry. Formal English. The candidate is highly qualified. Polite formal English. We greatly appreciate your feedback. Now let us learn some powerful combinations that native speakers frequently use. Common combinations with extremely. Extremely important. Extremely useful. Extremely difficult. Extremely sensitive. Extremely worried. Extremely painful. Extremely powerful. Extremely disappointed. Common combinations with highly. Highly successful. Highly respected. Highly effective. Highly qualified. Highly intelligent. Highly competitive. Highly motivated. Highly recommended. Common combinations with greatly. Greatly appreciate. Greatly admire. Greatly improve. Greatly affect. Greatly influence. Greatly reduce. Greatly benefit. Greatly contribute. Now let us do sentence analysis. Sentence 1. The manager is highly experienced. Why highly? Because experienced describes professional quality and evaluation. Sentence 2. The mountain climb was extremely difficult. Why extremely? Because difficult describes condition or intensity. Sentence 3. The internet has greatly changed communication. Why greatly? Because changed is an action showing effect. Now let us discuss pronunciation because clear pronunciation is important for AI voiceover and spoken English. Extremely. Extremely. Highly. Highly. Greatly. Greatly. Practice speaking slowly and clearly. Extremely important. Highly respected. Greatly appreciated. Now let us understand the emotional strength of these words. Extremely often sounds emotional and expressive. Highly sounds intelligent and professional. Greatly sounds respectful and meaningful. For example, I am extremely excited. She is highly talented. We greatly value your support. Now let us study real-life situations. Situation 1. School and education. The teacher is highly qualified. The exam was extremely hard. Good study habits greatly improve learning. Situation 2. Office and business. The company is highly successful. The workload is extremely heavy. Technology has greatly increased productivity. Situation 3. Personal life. I am extremely grateful for your help. My parents are highly respected in the community. Your advice greatly changed my life. Now let us practice correction of mistakes. Incorrect. I highly miss you. Correct. I greatly miss you. Or, I miss you very much. Incorrect. The soup is highly hot. Correct. The soup is extremely hot. Incorrect. He is greatly intelligent. Correct. He is highly intelligent. Now let us discuss advanced understanding. Sometimes extremely and highly can both be used, but the meaning changes slightly. Example. She is extremely intelligent. This focuses on the intensity of intelligence. She is highly intelligent. This sounds more formal and evaluative. Both are correct, but highly sounds more natural in formal English. Another example. The movie was extremely successful. The movie was highly successful. Both are possible, but highly successful is more common because success is often evaluated socially or professionally. Now let us learn the role of context. Context decides which word sounds natural. Physical conditions usually use extremely. Professional qualities usually use highly. Results and impact usually use greatly. Examples: extremely cold weather, highly educated professor, greatly improved system. Now let us explore storytelling examples. Listen carefully to how these words create stronger English. Story example 1. Ali was extremely nervous before his first public speech. He had practiced for many days, but standing in front of hundreds of people made him anxious. However, his teacher was highly supportive and encouraged him to stay confident. After the speech, the audience clapped loudly and Ali greatly appreciated their kindness. In this short story, each word has a special role. Extremely nervous shows emotional intensity. Highly supportive shows evaluation of the teacher's quality. Greatly appreciated shows emotional effect and gratitude. Story example 2. The village was extremely poor many years ago. Most people struggled to find work and education opportunities. Then a highly educated doctor arrived and started helping the community. His efforts greatly improved healthcare and education in the area. Again, notice the differences. Extremely poor describes condition. Highly educated describes qualification. Greatly improved describes effect. Now let us practice question and answer style examples. Question: why was the scientist respected? Answer: because he was highly knowledgeable and highly experienced. Question: how was the weather during the trip? Answer: it was extremely cold and extremely windy. Question: how did the new machine help the factory? Answer: it greatly increased production speed. Now let us discuss writing skills. Using these words correctly improves essays, emails, presentations, and spoken communication. Weak sentence. The teacher is good. Better sentence. The teacher is highly respected. Weak sentence. The problem is bad. Better sentence. The problem is extremely serious. Weak sentence. Technology changed society. Better sentence. Technology greatly changed society. Strong vocabulary creates stronger communication. Now let us discuss tone and politeness. Greatly is often used in polite formal English. For example, we greatly appreciate your patience. I greatly admire your courage. This sounds respectful and mature. Highly is often used in recommendations and reviews. For example, this course is highly recommended. The hotel is highly rated. Extremely is often used in emotional expression. For example, I am extremely proud of you. Now let us learn some mini dialogues. Dialogue 1. How was your interview? It was extremely stressful, but the interviewer was highly professional. Dialogue 2. Did the new medicine help? Yes, it greatly reduced my pain. Dialogue 3. What do you think about the teacher? She is highly knowledgeable and extremely patient. Now let us discuss why English learners confuse these words. The reason is that all three words increase strength or intensity. But English does not depend only on meaning. English also depends on natural word combinations called collocations. For example, highly respected is natural. Extremely respected sounds less natural. Greatly respected is possible but uncommon. So learning collocations is very important. Now let us study memory tricks. Use extremely for strong conditions and emotions. Use highly for reputation, quality, and evaluation. Use greatly for effect, change, and appreciation. Simple memory formula. Extremely equals intensity. Highly equals evaluation. Greatly equals effect. Now let us take a deeper look at collocations. Natural combinations with extremely. Extremely happy. Extremely angry. Extremely dangerous. Extremely expensive. Extremely difficult. Natural combinations with highly, highly skilled, highly respected, highly probable, highly successful, highly educated. Natural combinations with greatly, greatly admire, greatly appreciate, greatly improve, greatly affect, greatly influence. These combinations are commonly used by native speakers. Now let us do a quick practice section. Choose the correct word. Sentence 1. The professor is, blank, respected in the university. Correct answer. Highly. Sentence 2. The earthquake, blank, damaged the city. Correct answer. Greatly. Sentence 3. The water was, blank, cold. Correct answer. Extremely. Sentence 4. Your support is, blank, appreciated. Correct answer. Greatly. Sentence 5. This application is, blank, effective. Correct answer. Highly. Now let us create some advanced examples. The internet has greatly transformed modern communication. The athlete was highly praised for his discipline. The children were extremely excited about the holiday. Climate change is greatly affecting agriculture. She is highly capable of leading the project. The journey became extremely exhausting after midnight. Now let us discuss professional English use. In business English, highly and greatly are very common. For example, we highly recommend this software. We greatly appreciate your partnership. The company is highly competitive. Automation has greatly improved efficiency. In academic English, highly is especially common. For example, the theory is highly influential. The researcher is highly respected. The university is highly ranked. In emotional personal English, extremely is very common. For example, I am extremely worried. I feel extremely lucky. She became extremely emotional. Now let us understand one more subtle difference. Highly often sounds more objective. Extremely often sounds more emotional. Compare these two sentences. She is highly intelligent. This sounds like a thoughtful evaluation. She is extremely intelligent. This sounds more emotional and expressive. Both are correct but create different feelings. Now let us review everything together. Extremely is used mainly with adjectives and adverbs to show strong intensity. Highly is used mainly for evaluation, quality, reputation, probability, and professional description. Greatly is used mainly with verbs and results to show effect, impact, or appreciation. Examples: extremely difficult, highly qualified, greatly improved, extremely nervous, highly respected, greatly appreciated. Before we finish, let us hear one final combined paragraph using all three words naturally. Last year, a highly experienced teacher joined our school. At first, the students were extremely nervous because they thought he would be very strict. However, his teaching methods greatly improved the students' confidence and communication skills. Soon, he became highly admired by everyone in the school. The students were extremely motivated in his classes, and the principal greatly appreciated his hard work and dedication. This paragraph clearly shows how all three words work differently. Now let us conclude today's lecture. Learning vocabulary is not only about knowing meanings. It is also about understanding natural usage. Extremely, highly, and greatly are powerful English words, but each has its own purpose. If you use them correctly, your English will sound fluent, professional, and natural. Use extremely for strong emotions and conditions. Use highly for praise, evaluation, and reputation. Use greatly for impact, improvement, and appreciation. Practice these words daily in speaking and writing. Create your own sentences. Listen to English conversations carefully and notice how native speakers use these words naturally. The more you practice, the more confident and fluent you will become. Thank you for listening to this lecture. Keep learning, keep practicing, and keep improving your English every single day.